The Lies About Tithing, Part 3. Institutional church leaders often emphasize the failure to tithe will result in financial curse, frequently citing Malachi chapter 3 verse 8 to verse 12. They use the greed of the god of Mammon and materialism to coerce people into giving their tithes, promising financial blessings in return. Ironically, by feeling obligated to give 10% of our income in exchange for God's favor, we may actually be placing ourselves under a curse. Paul writes in Galatians chapter 3 verse 10, "For as many as are of the works of the law are under the curse. For it is written, Cursed is everyone who does not continue in all things which are written in the book of the law to do them." In other words, quoting Malachi chapter 3 verse 8 to verse 9, where God tells Israel they had robbed him in tithes and offerings and are therefore cursed as a nation, they compel people to tithe, placing them under the very curse Paul warns about. If one chooses to live under the law, they are obligated to obey it perfectly. Failure to do so brings a curse. As seen in Deuteronomy chapter 14 verse 22 to verse 29 and Deuteronomy chapter 26 verse 12 to verse 13, tithing was an agricultural practice. Farmers were instructed to take their produce of the land each year to the place where God has placed his name, Jerusalem, and celebrate by feasting before the Lord. In the third year, the holy tithe was to be shared with orphans, strangers, widows, and Levites. If churches today insist on following the tithing command from Malachi chapter 3, then modern farmers would need to sell their produce, travel to Jerusalem, and feast there with their offerings. In the third year, they would need to share their produce as directed by the law. If they failed to do so according to the law, they would indeed be cursed. Is this really God's will for us today? Paul answers in Galatians chapter 3 verse 13, "Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, having become a curse for us, for it's written, Cursed is everyone who hangs on a tree." To place ourselves under the law while failing to follow it perfectly is to reintroduce the curse from which Christ redeemed us. Such actions dishonors the sacrifice Christ made for us, treating his redemptive work as insufficient. Like and subscribe for more 2-minute biblical rebuttals.